Hey loves, it's Amber and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. And welcome back for another part of our spooky season series where we are creating different types of occults in The Sims 4. Today we're going to be creating our spellcaster Sims. So this sim type is a little bit different from all the other occult Sims. All the other cults actually have like two different forms, but spellcasters only have the one form. So they're always just kind of in their regular sim form, but I like the idea of having those two separate forms. So for these two sims, what I actually did is give them kind of two different outfits for their everyday. So I have one that I feel like is a little bit more like normal sim, kind of blending into everyone around them, and then one that I think they kind of wear for like special witch occasions. So it pulls like a lot more witchy and stuff like that. And then kind of mixed in like the super witchy aesthetics with their different outfits. So I think like party wear and some of the other wears just kind of pull a little bit more of like that spellcaster witch vibe. But I did want them to have like an everyday that I thought would blend. So for the Sims that we created today, as in all these videos, we're creating one feminine and one masculine frame. And we are, as always, going to have ladies first. So this is Miss Raven Ash, and she has the Purveyor of Potions aspiration. She is high maintenance, disruptive, and self-assured, and I thought these traits were fun. I'm pretty sure I randomized for them, but I kind of knew high maintenance was going to be one of her traits, kind of like as soon as I was creating her, because she just had that vibe. You know, our girl looks and feels a little bit on the high maintenance side, and I think she deserves it. For her color palette, I pulled with like purples and blacks. I feel like it's such a traditional witch color palette, but I thought it was perfect. Like when I think witches, I think purple and black. I know that like I guess there's other colors that some people might associate with it, but those are the colors that I most strongly associate with it. And so I wanted to go with that. I also like the idea of giving her like this braided hair in her normal sim form, kind of in her first everyday outfit. I kind of leaned into like a more boho kind of whimsical aesthetic. So she is actually wearing this dress that we got with the Enchanted by Nature pack, which technically I guess is a fairy dress, but I just thought it was really pretty. And I love these colors on her. So she wears like a little bit more of like light colors. I guess it's kind of like her daytime look. So she's going for like lighter colors. And I still wanted her to be like pretty accessorized. Like I said, she's high maintenance. So our girl likes a good accessory. And honestly, I think she turned out really pretty. And I will say that I think by the time I was creating her other looks, I kind of started pulling into a slightly different aesthetic. Like this look is probably the most distinct from all of her other looks, but I still think it turned out well. I do think I kind of switched up in the middle of creating her vibe. So you'll kind of see, but I don't know. You can let me know. You can let me know if you think that this fit matches with the rest of her vibe, or if you feel like I kind of like got distracted when I was creating Sims. I have been making obviously a lot of Sims for this series, and I do feel like sometimes it's hard for me when I'm just creating Sims, like just for like CAS challenges, to kind of keep their vibe or to really identify their vibe. And I think sometimes it takes a little bit of time to like get to know the sim when you're creating them. So initially this was definitely the vibe I had, and then I think when I thought about it, I was like, well, maybe we should lean into some kind of like darker, deeper, more mysterious vibes. But I still liked her having this look. I just thought it was really cute, and I feel like it still feels very magical and still like whimsical. She is disruptive, and I kind of, I love the idea of having like my disruptive Sims be like super cutesy, because it just feels fun to me, and I think it just kind of adds to the personality. And I don't know, you'll have to let me know if you think that like this look fits for her, but I think she's really pretty, and she's one of my favorite Sims that I've made in the series so far. But I definitely kind of struggled. I did lean very heavily if you're looking into purple makeup for her, which honestly is such a moment. I actually love purple makeup. It's like one of my favorites, even for like myself. So I just think it was really cute. And now we're moving into like her second everyday look, which is like her witchy look. And I knew immediately that I wanted to use this hat. So basically, her whole outfit is based around using this hat. And I did. So I'm kind of scrolling through. I have a ton of like dresses from Centate, and I love all of their CC. I think that it's chef's kiss. Literally every item chef's kiss. And so I was trying to decide like how formal did I want to go? Did I want to use like one of these like formal dresses? Cuz like they are really nice. I think that this sim definitely took me the most like trial and error to like really settle on a look. At the end of this video, I have kind of like a little clip that's going to show all of her different fits, and I don't know if I did that for all of the videos. If I didn't, I'll probably be creating shorts that kind of show all of the Sims and like all of their full outfits so that we can kind of like get to know all of them. And I think that'll be like just kind of fun to see and see kind of all the looks, because I did create looks for every fit. But as y'all know, it takes me forever to make Sims. And so even like sped up, unless I was going to speed this up to like a rate that essentially doesn't make sense, it's hard for me to include multiple Sims in doing kind of like all of their outfits, especially if I'm using custom content. I think I've done it a few times, like creating full families, but those are always like no CC families, and not using CC is a lot easier for me than when I am going to use CC. And so since I ended up obviously using a ton of CC for these occult Sims, it was definitely easier for me to just kind of show you creating the first like everyday and then like kind of that secondary everyday. And also now that I'm looking at it, we still pulled pretty similar with like the level of purples. So we still got some light purples kind of like in the skirt. So I think it still fits. I think her vibe is still there. And then I did want to adjust her makeup because I just felt like a little bit of a darker makeup moment was in order for our kind of spellcaster form. I don't know if I ended up changing her eyeshadow. I think maybe I did. And then I did also want to give her contacts because I like the idea of having more whimsical, magical eyes for when she's in her spellcaster form. And because it's makeup, it can only show up in this one outfit, which I like, because for all the other Sims, I just gave them like special eyes in their spell, like their other occult form. So this was kind of the easiest way to do that for the spellcasters. So that is a Raven. And then next we have our masculine Sim, and this is Guyan Grove. He's kind of like a little bit of a hipster. He definitely has like a kind of hipster vibe, and I think he turned out really cute. But he has the esteemed entrepreneur aspiration. He's family oriented, idealist, and squeamish. So he's pretty different from our girl, a Raven. I love the idea of him being squeamish. It was a trait that I randomized because y'all know I kind of always randomize traits just to help me get like an idea of what I might want to pick. But I thought squeamish would be fun, and I thought it kind of leaned into the idea that like he's not a potion maker. So he's a spellcaster, but he doesn't do potions. Like Raven's into potions, she has the potion aspiration. Guyan, not so much. And you know, Guyan is an earthy name. He's much more of like an earthy spellcaster. Like he's almost like a naturopath type spellcaster, but you know, he's still a witch. We're still casting spells, but you know, make it natural. So I thought he was fun, and I wanted to do something different. I am struggling with the amount of masculine frame sims that I've had to create over this past month, but I'm determined and I want to get better at it. So I think this challenge has been really good for me, because you know that if I had my way, this would have just been 4 occult female sims and we would have went. But I want to do something different, so we are committing to all of our masculine frame sims. I have actually made all these sims at this point, so I've created all of the sims. So I can say kind of who my favorites are. I wouldn't say Guyan's my favorite, but I do like the way he turned out, and it was interesting because I did decide to give him long hair, which I do not do that often with my masculine frame sims. So I thought that was a little bit of fun. And then he, like Raven, does have 2 kind of everyday looks. I'll admit that his are not as distinct as hers. Like, I feel like his vibe is kind of the same in both of his outfits, just because I feel like this outfit, it gives a spellcaster vibe, but like most outfits do, right? Like, not most outfits, but like I feel like this style kind of leans into being a spellcaster and not. But it's fine. I still gave him two separate outfits just because I thought it would be good. They also do both have tattoos. I like the ideas of using tattoos to kind of insinuate my occult sims. And then I also wanted to give him some scars because I just like the idea that maybe he's kind of gone through some things and so he's ended up with a few scars. And then I decided I would pull his hair up for like his actual spellcasting form, just because I feel like, you know, if you're getting down with the magic and you're casting a bunch of spells, you need to get your hair out of your face. So I decided to pull his hair up. He also has like more accessories than quite a few of the other sims that we've created. So he does wear glasses. He's got several piercings. I thought that was good. Like, I wanted to give him some more like details, because I'm just working on kind of creating more in-depth sims versus just kind of creating very like superficial stories for my sims. And here I am trying to figure out what I'm gonna do to like make this outfit different from his original outfit, because honestly his first outfit would have worked. Like, I probably could have just put a witch's hat on it and it would have been exactly what I needed it to be. But I decided that since he is kind of more of like that green witch, a little bit more of like that naturopath style, that I would go for something that pulled a little bit more into that. So he's more likely to be out in the forest, kind of gathering and preparing ingredients and stuff like that. So I thought that made sense for his second outfit. Plus, I've downloaded kind of all the CC and stuff in preparation for this video. And I thought the CC was kind of a lot of fun. So I decided to give him that. And then I considered giving him the same necklace that I gave her, because again, I like using like jewelry and things like that to tie in the different types of occults, but I didn't think that it fit. It wasn't, I mean, it literally didn't fit his neck. So I just kind of landed on something like this. It's a pretty different outfit, and so it feels like a lot less modern compared to his other outfits. So I thought it fit. And then here we are kind of going through all of the different looks that we have for both of these sims. So we have the first two everydays, her formal wear. This is her athletic, the sleep. I bought this kit literally just for this robe, I'll admit it. But these are going to be all their outfits. You'll have to let me know, since you can see all of them, which fits are your favorite. And then, of course, which of these two sims in today's videos are your favorite. How are you enjoying this occult series? I hope that it has been fun and that you've enjoyed seeing me create all these different occult sims. I can't wait to show you the final project that I've been working on by creating all these sims. And I'm so excited to share that with y'all. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you who takes the time out of your day to spend even a little bit of time with me. And I will see you all next time. Bye.